Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Monday morning. Got a great show lined up, and we'll get ready to get started. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Highway 77. Run by, check out all the programs they have here at the beginning of school. It's going to be hot today. The weather service is calling for a high of 93 and a low of 78. Water temperature is still hanging in there with us. It's 85, 86 degrees. Been that way for a couple of weeks. It's really, really warm. We'll skip our river readings today on Monday, but we substitute our Monday moon forecast, and we're looking at a really good situation with the moon. Looking at a Monday the 21st. We're getting ready for a full moon. Probably this coming Saturday, so it'll be a full moon, so be ready for that. Got a good tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. It's going to coincide with the moon coming up, and we got some good strong tides coming in finally this week. Last week was all neap tides, but this week some really strong tides, especially towards the end of the week there. So things are looking good as far as the weather, as far as the moon and the tide moving and all for us inshore fishermen. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to do our fishing forecast today, because we're going to get to it Friday. So let's go ahead and do our fishing game forecast brought to us by Mark Coward of Counts Real Estate. Our times from 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Excellent time this morning, nice and cool. Or this evening from 5:53 to 7:53. Those two-hour blocks should really be producing today with our tide starting to move again. We're going to take our break and come back with our special guest. All right, welcome back, and check this out. Brad Stevens, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Well, I've got Brad's schedule all mixed up coming in on a Monday and all, but can you handle this?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. That's all I care about.
All right, we've got. It's always fun to have Brad on. He's got a unique business. First of all, in kayaks and all, and all the things he's done, but this fishing business and all these little things he brings in, it is a continuation of our ICAST exploration. And how's everything going?
Everything's going good. And like I always say, I can't stand trade shows because I come home with too much stuff. Every single time I came home with a truckload of coolers. This last time I'll get to in a second. We just got a couple pallets of a new cooler brand we're selling. We got big stuff, but what we got in, I'm going to fumble my way through all of this.
That's amazing. I didn't see that down there. Was that down there?
All this came in yesterday at 4:45, and I literally opened the box to see what it was, so I knew which department to put it in, so the next morning they get to stocking it, and I stole some. So it's from Rapala. It is a bait scissors. You always go to the kitchen and pull your old ladies. They always have the best scissors are always in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to get in trouble anymore. This right here looks like it has a bottle opener on it. There's a nice cutout spot right here for you really getting something in there and cutting it. It has a serrated bottom on it, so you could use this as a knife. And then the top of this, one is serrated and one is not. But you can also take it apart, and I have a bait knife.
Oh my goodness! Check that out.
It's just, I'm sure there's something else really cool on here I'm missing. But that's the bait knife from Rapala.
That's everything in one thing. I mean, you can fillet it out. I mean, you can gut it out and then fillet it. I mean, that's
I'm impressed.
Nice. I mean, that is nice. I didn't see that.
And to help you fillet it, we have the new Rapala fillet forks in. I don't know if they're really new, but the Rapala fillet forks. So you may be like me going, what in the world is a fillet fork? Well, especially smaller fish, when you're filleting the skin off of them, you're always having a hard time hanging on to them, cutting the skin off. Just stab this in, fillet it off, then pick this up. It's a lot easier than bending your kitchen forks.
That's an excellent idea.
It's a fillet fork. They're very inexpensive. I don't have the number right off the top of my head, but they were cheap enough. We bought a bucket of them.
Every time Brad comes on, I feel like it's almost Christmas time. You get all these little goodies and all.
You should spend a day at the shop with the UPS man coming. And keeping right with Rapala. If you can't tell, we like Rapala. They make good stuff. Mm-hmm. This is, a pair of fish grips. Nothing fancy or unique with this. Just another one on the market. We've been selling the fish grip name brand ones for, I don't know. I've been in business going on 17 years now. This one is very similar, slightly different. It's just basically a pair of vice grips. You just put it in the fish's mouth, squeeze it, and then, you know, pull your fish up out of the water. Yeah. With any fish grip, this, boga, the Rapala scales, anything, please don't grab that fish by their bottom lip and just pick them up. That's very, very traumatizing to the fish. When you pull that fish out, hold them on their belly so you can, you know, you support them. This just helps control it a little bit more, just because you don't want to go sticking your thumb in their mouth like a bass. So make sure you hold the belly of that fish, or it's just traumatizing to the bottom of that. And to help you get to this position with holding them with a fish gripper in this, you need to throw the new Voodoo Mambo baits. I'm going to go ahead and open one of these up. This bait has a lot of action on it. There's one for you to play with, Coach. Right. Has a lot of action. It's weighted in the bottom, so when it swims, it's going to fall down and it's going to hit just like this. And then, you know, then you're going to have all this action from the tail here. If you remember years ago, the old SS Minnow, we used to trim them, used to catch tons of fish, and we always wished they'd make one a little bit longer. As soon as I saw this, it is exactly what we were asking for in that. But they put a weight in it, so you don't have to worry with rigging that jig head. Because on these slender baits with all this action, if your jig head gets off, centered or crooked, your bait's going to twirl through the water. So you wonder, why is this bait just not working for me? You probably have it rigged wrong. So they are taking the rigging wrong out of the equation, and they got it set up pre-rigged for you.
Good idea, because it does sort of just, the head goes down just like a shrimp.
That takes care of that. All right, fall king mackerel, we're going to go real quick. You all know these. This is the Rapala X-Wrap. You sling it and you bring it, and you bring back a smoker almost every time. And if you don't, try again.
Yeah, I'll go somewhere else and fish.
Exactly. With these baits, we have, I believe, I may be misspeaking here, but I believe we have every color of this bait in stock from Rapala at our Highway 79 location. And by the way, all this stuff so far is at the 79 location. We'll probably sneak some scissors and some fish grips down to St. Andrews. But just to be sure, if it has to do with tackle, you need to go to 79 or call first. But these X-Wraps, they got a rattle in them. They're really good baits. The guys off the pier casting these, so they are really, really good. And just to recap, because I know we're about out of time on this segment, this I've showed y'all before. You put your iPhone inside of here, and it turns into an underwater video camera. We just got their new, this one's pretty big, pretty cumbersome. You put your phone in airplane mode before you put it in here. A lot of people like the idea of that, but some people just can't miss a phone call while they're out there. And I'm one of them. If the shop's calling, or I got kids at school, which all the kids are back in school, my wife or I, we have to be able to answer our phone because when the school calls. They have one that has a rubber membrane on the back that's still waterproof. It's not quite as waterproof depth-wise. This one will go to 150 feet. This other one that you can talk through will go to 33 feet, which is fine for basically probably everybody that's watching.
Right.
So we have those at both locations.
I like those. We do. Okay. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back. Welcome back. Now, all that was a little stuff. Now we got some big stuff now. So let's get started with this.
All right. If y'all remember me when I said I came back from iCast a month ago, there were two things that really caught my eye. I was excited about. We have both of those in. One is this cooler right here. You go, well, I've seen one roto-motored cooler. I've seen all of them. The guy that owns this company walked in my store on Highway 79 about 3.5 months ago. Hey, I have another roto-motored cooler, da-da-da-da. I said, are you better than, I named the one you're thinking of right now? And he said, no, they're the best. He said, I can't be better than them. He said, but we're just as good and we're different. And I said, well, I'm still not interested. So he said, okay, no problem. He set it down in the middle of the floor. He opened the lid and he just walked away and started shopping. I said, whoa, come back over here, because when you open the lid of a Litte Cooler, they glow.
Oh,
you can see there's LED lights in here. This works fantastic at night. This light tray that's in here, it is fully removable, and it will have a 15-hour burn time, and it is fully rechargeable. Charges with USB cable just like your cell phone. Oh, and cool. Don't worry, that's taped in there. They give all that to you. So all you do is put this inside your Litte Cooler, you close it, and one of the cool things is, which is what we're going to get into, is it has a clear window in the top of it. This doesn't affect ice retention or anything like that, but it stays lit for 10 or 15 seconds after you close your lid, which gives us, and this plate's replaceable, so we're going to have all of your SEC teams coming in, all your ACC teams.
Oh, yeah.
Never know, Coach may splurge and get a Panhandle Outdoor Edition clear thing in here.
Yeah.
But, you know, so this is just a really cool cooler. It's just something different. It's not better than Yeti. We're still selling Yeti at all of our stores. Still love Yeti. They're still our bread and butter. But when something comes out that is so cool and so unique, I can't pass on it. And that's why I have this.
My mind's sitting there spinning at all the things you can do, and one of the first things jumps out at me, all those guys that go floundering and all. Can you imagine floundering at midnight? And it's always hard to see because your light is in the water. It's hard to see back in the boat. That would be ideal. Once you get your flounder, put it in there. And
absolutely. You know, we have a lot of people that are opening this. They're taking that light tray out and setting it in the boat just for some light. Then they know they can put it back in here.
Yeah.
Downside of that, if this is full of ice and you pull that light thing out, the ice is going to go fill those cavities. It's going to be hard to get it back in.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things in summer and late summer and early fall is fishing at night around these bridges.
Yes.
And that would be ideal for put that in the boat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then after you catch those fish, you need to rinse it all off.
That is cool. Well, we got another big thing here, and this is one of my favorites. It's funny we like the same stuff down there at iCast. And now you have these in stock, right?
That's right. This is called the rinse kit. I know Coach showed some video of it. It holds 2 gallons of pressurized water. You just the way you pressurize this is you hook it up to your hose bib at your house. They give you all the fittings you need. You just simply turn it on. It fills this, and
the hose reaches a long way out.
It does. It's about a 5-foot hose. It's fantastic. It's one of those things you really have to swing by and use it to really fully appreciate it.
I remember talking to the couple that put this out. Look, that sort of fits like that, doesn't it? Let me see how that sort of fits like that? Okay. And I remember I thought, what a great invention. Not just for outdoorsmen, but for moms and all that are taking the kids to the beach and rinsing their feet off, but I surf fish a lot, and it would be great for rinsing off the rod and reels when you're coming back.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, if you're ever anywhere and you're like, I wish I had a water hose right now, you can with a rinse kit. You just fill it up, put it in your car. It essentially never loses pressure. I mean, it might if you fill it up and 10 months from now go back, but you know, we've been letting them. We haven't had them but 2 or 3 days, so I'm going. We haven't had a. We have one that we charged and we left overnight, and it still had just as much pressure as the second we stopped charging it. But I want to iterate. There's no batteries. There's no pumps. There's nothing you have to do, but you literally hook it up to your hose bib, turn on your hose. 20 seconds later, about your 2 gallons is full. You turn it off. You turn off the little safety valve on there. Just not even safety valve, just your valve. You put on the sprayer, you turn the valve back on, and you start spraying. It's enough pressure to wash a car, rinse a dog off, water flowers, and it is. If y'all have noticed, I've gained a little weight again. I'm not a little boy anymore.
You can't see this. It also has a ruler on top if you want to measure your fish. How about that?
Absolutely.
And it's heavy duty too. I mean,
it's
not cheap stuff.
I can stand on top of that and rinse my feet off, and then step in the truck. And that doesn't buckle under my 230-something pounds.
Well, that's cool. That's really cool stuff right there. Speaking of other cool, now this is at which store?
Both stores. Coolers are at both stores. Rinse kit is at both stores.
Okay. So so it's cool stuff.
Cactus juice, both stores. Remember a couple years ago we came on, we talked about cactus juice. Yep. We got on, 2013, the end of mosquito season, I discovered this. I ordered some. It's all my family used. We sold cases upon cases last year. If you remember, we were always out of it.
Yeah.
This year, we're not going to run out. I can almost promise you. We ordered gobs of cactus juice. It's great. It's all natural. It has no DEET. Now, if you notice, I know you can't see it, when you're in the store, it doesn't say insect repellent anywhere on any of their bottles. Insect repellent is a government-owned word, and they make you buy the rights to put that on bug spray, or you have to put 15 or 20% DEET in your system to go. Then, by the way, you have to buy the rights to use DEET in here to pay for testing. So they just said, we'll stay all natural. It just works. Word of mouth will take care of it. Daughter's cheering for the barracudas out on the beach. Go Cudas. I'm one of the only parents not getting bit, and slowly you're starting to see cactus juice bottles pick up everywhere because out there at Frank Brown, when the sun's going down, The mosquitoes are out. Anywhere in West Bay, if you got mosquitoes, no see 'em, cactus juice will change your life.
And they're down at Howard Creek and at Cape San Blas and then Apalachicola Bay, and they're all over the place, especially late summer with all this rain we've had.
Absolutely. And both stores, there's one more bottle that I didn't get. It's the Miracle Gel Relief. So when you're out there getting bit this afternoon, or maybe you got bit this weekend and you're thinking, oh, I really wish I'd have had some of that stuff. We got a cream that's made by the same company. I'm not going to say it's the best itch release cream ever because I haven't used all of them, but it's pretty stinking good.
Well, and what's good, when Brad brings all this stuff on, this is for the outdoorsmen, for folks like us, that we want to make our time outdoors a lot more enjoyable. And it's the little things like that, or the big things like the kit or the fishing rod, and I appreciate you having all this stuff.
We spend, my wife claims that I play too much, but we do extensive research on all this. And if you've noticed, especially in the fishing arena, we're not the biggest tackle store in town. We don't have the largest selection, but 9 times out of 10, we have exactly what you need. Your time's valuable, our time's valuable. You know, we could put a whole superstore in of all the tackle, but honestly, the meat and potatoes of what sells at all the other stores is what we stock every day. They have tent sales to get rid of the rest of the junk that doesn't sell, but it's the junk that didn't sell. You notice their good stuff's never on sale, and that's what we have every single day at Highway 79 at Sunjammers for you.
And good stuff. And that Litte Cooler, now, fall floundering coming up, I know some of you guys and girls want to get that for the boat.
They have it in 2 sizes. This is their smaller size. They're coming out with an even smaller size. We'll have the middle of October. But we have 2 sizes. They got 3 colors. There's a white, there's a sage, which is a tan color, and then they have a slate gray color. They're the only cooler company on the market we've been able to find that has a gray color. Yeah. Sometimes you don't want white, but you don't want that far tan. The slates are real nice in between. The tan ones have white lights in it because people are, you know, it's color matching. But if you see a cooler in the stores that has the wrong color lights inside of it, just find one of us. The light, they just swap. We'll make it happen. It doesn't matter.
So it comes in like a large and a small size, too.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they're priced slightly less than the competitor.
Oh, good.
Keyword is slightly, but less.
So if you're flounder gigging this fall and all, you're going to get a bunch of small flounder like Scott Lindsay does. Just get that small model. But we'll get a bunch of big ones. You want to get that big model.
Scott, you don't even need to bother taking a cooler with you, buddy.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with our fishing forecast. Okay, we sort of change things up. It's good, I think, to change things up every now and then.
Absolutely.
And just so you want to get in a pattern. Okay, now we're going to do our drawing on Monday morning because I know some of y'all want to cook some fish and shrimp during the week. So, Brad, instead of our famous Friday fishing forecast and drawing, it's going to be on Monday. So go ahead and
it's a fabulous Monday.
Fabulous. Okay.
All right, here. Ooh, I got 2. I threw them both back because I don't know which one I grabbed first.
Okay, this will be.
I just didn't like it. That was Scott Lindsay. I don't.
This is a $20 gift certificate to Tarpon Lake Seafood in winter.
Joey Melvin from Fountain.
Joey Melvin. Joey watches the show on a regular basis. Now, this is a big red snapper. They'll get some fresh one coming in, I think, tomorrow.
Bob Landrum from Mexico Beach.
Fountain and Mexico Beach. That's our 2 winners right there. Okay, so let's get it going on a fishing forecast and sort of what we find that whatever happens on the weekend. Now again, these pictures we get sent to us and the ones I see on Facebook and all, it all blends together. Let's do Mexico Beach first. Mitch Coleman sent this in, and he runs Florida Days Adventures and stays real busy down there. Mexico Beach is a really hot place for those Georgia folks to come down and fish. Speaking of hot, the water temperature, he says, is 86 to 87 degrees down there.
That's just good soaking weather. If it was January.
Now, I didn't like this part. He's saying over the weekend, king fishing was a little slow. Now, we're getting ready for that big artificial reef tournament this weekend, and king fishing is slow, so we're going to fish it, so maybe it'll change.
Don't worry, those X-Traps will call them in.
We're going to try some X-Traps. But the tarpon fishing, and all summer long, have you guys talked about how good the tarpon fishing has been?
Our guys don't talk about tarpon fishing, so when they're really quiet, I know the tarpon fishing is really good.
Okay, well, he said what they're doing, they're following the big bait schools near shore around Crooked Island, and they're using mullet for bait. There you go. And a lot of those old tarpon lures I have that I collected was just a mullet-colored single hook, and fascinating. Here locally, we were talking about, I think all summer long, the drum bite has been strong.
Yep.
And folks are eating them. I personally don't like the taste of them, but I guess you can eat about anything that comes out of water.
Absolutely, more power. You know,
If they like them.
if you rewind, my grandfather thought cobia was the biggest trash fish ever. He dog cussed him every time we got one on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
So same thing about triggerfish. So
Triggerfish.
things go in cycles. I love triggerfish now.
Yeah, and everyone else does at restaurants. But when it first, for a long time, they were trash fish.
They were a nuisance.
But black drum now around these bridges, Apalachicola Bay Bridge, North Bay up in Lynn Haven. This guy showed some pictures. I'm talking about some huge drum.
Yep.
And keep in mind though, the bigger fish usually in the late summer and all, the big trout, big drum, they have parasites and all. So when you do clean them, if you're going to eat them, make sure you cut everything out and make sure you check that meat really good.
We've been seeing a lot of smaller rat reg at 12 to 15, 16 inches on the flats, which is a great sign. They're in large numbers. I know they don't grow real fast, but most of the summer those fish were hard to come by. In the last couple of weeks, there's certain people, when you see them start catching fish, they must be thick, and I've seen those people catching fish.
Yeah.
Scott Lindsay.
Yeah. We did a tournament last weekend when Film did, and that we talked to those red fishermen that some of the best red fishermen here in the Panhandle, and they said the same thing. They caught a bunch of small ones.
Yep.
A bunch of small ones didn't quite measure up, but that's a good sign too. Floundering. Now floundering is really kicking off now. Late summer floundering is really when it gets off, and I saw Friday night some folks went. I saw some pictures of that. Some really nice flounder.
Yep.
And up in West Bay now. The trout are still out there, but they're still in deeper water. I saw some pictures of some trout, but they were catching some smaller ones. The picture I saw. And
the fish, like Coach said, they're going to be in that little bit deeper water or potholes just because that water is so hot. What is it, 86 degrees over Mexico Beach?
Yeah, and it's 86, 87 here too.
It's similar to that here. So those fish, they're just going to be real lethargic, and they're not going to be moving a whole lot. They're like we are. And nobody wants to cut that grass right now.
Panama City Inshore, they're doing a good job. A lot of folks on good days are going right out the pass and catching some nice fish right outside the pass.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And kayakers are all over the place catching them.
Yep, and mahi bite's really good. They're out that 3 to 5 miles, and just any floating structure they're saying is going to have some mahi on them.
We've got to wrap it up. Thank you.
Let's go.
All right, see y'all. Y'all do something good for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.